JVs and partnerships, something we've talked about multiple times already today on the pod. This is a specialty that you have, Adam, from, again, being both an attorney, a broker, and a business person in general, as well as an investor and developer. So tell me how you blend and marry those items, and where you kind of see your practice as it fits into a service that you may offer to other investors out there about JVs and partnerships.
Well, that's, again, one of the big reasons why I love working with SoCal Realty Law, because there are so many different parts in the cycle that you need to make sure you cover. And I think the general idea is to be preventative more than have to deal with it on the back end. Because if you don't have a solid partnership agreement, for example, and something were to go wrong, then you have to fall back on the default rules, which typically if there's two people involved, the default rules are 50-50 with everything. And if you have other agreements in place, sometimes without a written agreement in place, you might be able to use emails and other things to try to guide what the agreement should have been, had it been written out and signed. But you're leaving yourself prone to any type of nuance outside of what you can prove in writing.
Not to mention fees.
If there's an attorney fee provision in your contract, then if there's a dispute later on, usually that allows for the prevailing party in litigation to be able to get their fees reimbursed, their costs for litigating and pursuing a judgment if they have to.
And guys, I'm just going to throw this one in for free. Having dealt with attorneys, and I'm sure I'll deal with more attorneys as I go. I used to have 115 employees and 100, sales reps working for me. So there were some lawsuits here and there. It's a part of the game. I do think that, if you've never been sued, you probably need to have a little bit of a bigger business. I used to not think that way. Before you ever get sued, it has this negative connotation, like you think the world is ending. But once it happens, it's like anything else. You walk through the experience curve. Well, this person's actually being super unreasonable. Mm-hmm. They have an attorney basically whispering in their ear saying, hey, we can get money. These people will settle. There's a bunch of reasons why people sue. But the bottom line is you want to have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, which is what Adam is alluding to. Because if you have proper documentation, you've thought these things through, you've consulted with an attorney, it's going to make it a lot easier when you get there to the finish line. In addition to that, you're not going to be as appealing to an attorney to have someone come sue you. Because attorneys get paid from lawsuits. And litigation is very, very expensive for everyone involved. I'm not going to sit here and take shots at attorneys, especially when I'm interviewing an attorney. And I wouldn't do that anyways because, at the end of the day, they're business people. It took a while for me to understand that too. And this is kind of a long monologue I'm going on, guys. But the bottom line is attorneys are business people too. They're running a business. Doctors are business people too. If they have their own practice, that is a company that is making them money. Same thing with CPAs. At the end of the day, these people are trying to make money. They're business professionals. So you want to, just like in business, as Adam was talking about, you want an attorney that is not out to eat your lunch, that sees the big picture, that's trustworthy, just like you want a CPA and a doctor. These respected positions that are very difficult to earn, expensive for degrees, et cetera, they're not all created equal.
Yeah, I think, using those two professions, the CPA and the doctor, you're in better spots when you do your annual checkups, when you do your preventative stuff. When you're not looking at it in a idea of let's get in front of things, let's plan things correctly, let's have things covered on the front end, it's going to be a lot messier on the back end.
And more expensive.
Definitely more expensive. People don't work for free across any industry, which they shouldn't. People should be compensated for their time. But, there's definitely things that, from my perspective as an attorney, I can do in a lot more cost-effective way to help you avoid even getting into an issue that is going to be expensive for you to get out of just because.
So you're talking about, just being proactive on the front side so to save you some headaches on the back.
Yeah, and then, a lot of investors, even if you're working by yourself, you still have to look at putting things in the LLC, having things set up the right way in your operating agreement, getting things set up so if you do work in a partnership with another company, or even if it's not as partners, if you bring on other companies as vendors and other things, you have somebody there to help make sure that your agreements are tight and the things that might come up yes, obviously everybody wants things to go 100% smoothly, but you have to account for the problems.
Adam Stone, guys. Adam Stone, real estate attorney, broker extraordinaire.